But that second best player, I would make the case that it's Keegan Murray, just because whenever he goes out there, they're just instantly better.
Yeah, you could very well make that case easily, and especially after what he did in preseason, it just seems like it's transitioning. Because I think you could have easily made that case that he was the best player in preseason, right? And yeah, it's
Oh, easy.
preseason; it's not regular season, but he missed the opening night. But the last two games, like, yeah, it's exactly what it looked like in preseason. They just look so much better with him out on the floor. He's just playing very efficient basketball. Playing very well. And you said at the beginning of the season that you think he could be like a top three guy on this team, and I was very skeptical and like, it's like I'm not high on rookies. It's just like they're rookies. They give them some time. Like NBA is different than college, but man, after
Which
what
I
I've seen
which I
this,
thought was I thought it was really sound when you said that. I was like, that's a good
yeah,
point. Like I probably sound like a little out of my pants here.
but after summer league, after preseason, after his two NBA games, and it sounds like an overreaction already, but he just seems to play well no matter what level he's at. Just be an efficient player, be a good player, be one of the better players on the floor when he's on it. My expectations have risen exponentially about this guy. I now have expectations for him night in, night out, and maybe that'll change. Maybe he'll start showing that he is a rookie. But as what we've seen so far since summer league, since I guess professional NBA, level games, I guess if you can classify summer league as that, he's just been phenomenal. And now you are going to have that, you're going to expect him to be scoring, 15 points a night to hit that big three when it matters. And I think he is your second best player, and I don't think he will be. I think Sabonis will get back up to that, hopefully number one level, at least number two, if Fox really just has a great season. But man, you can't count out Murray now until he makes you count him out. He's just been that good.
Yeah. And it's just that effect. It's like they're just better. And it's because he's so good on both ends of the floor. He got better throughout the game. He noted it himself at switching and kind of the whole playing on a string and whatnot defensively. He got better throughout the game, and you could see it. I mean, he was a better defender than Agpala, I think, overall, impact-wise. And he's just so versatile. Brown was talking about the fact that he thought he was just a power forward coming out of college. And he's like, I don't know if he's a 2, 3, or 4. It's just like he's so good. I mean, like he's got the silky smooth 3-point shot that's just really good. He's level-headed, as mature as can be, and he's a great defender. And I think he's really good for this defense because he just, when you have to switch 1 through 5 like you do against the Warriors and against a lot of teams in this league, he's so good. He was guarding Curry pretty well in the fourth quarter there. I saw him guard DiVincenzo in like the second quarter. He was guarding, I think, Wiggins at times. He was, no problem against Draymond Green. And then even having to switch on to a guy like Wiseman or something like that, like he plays himself very well positionally. He's not afraid of a challenge. He's super long and effective, and just like he just does what he needs to do. And I don't know. It's like what Fox said about him. Like everything he does is efficient. He doesn't have any wasted motion. He doesn't have like he was making all these points about him, and it's just like, man, like he just plays the game the right way, and it's almost like you just need guys that have pretty good physical assets because he's 6'8", pretty long. He's not super athletic. He's athletic, but not super athletic. And it just comes down to almost his mindset, what he wants to do, how he can affect the game. And it really helps that he can shoot the three like that. But he's just been exceptional.
Yeah, no complaints. He's almost looking like a steal at that 2 pick. And still very early, but he's just looks so good.
I wanted to make this point last week and I forgot to make it, but it's like just seeing how good, and it makes it makes way more sense now. just because we've played 3 regular season games now, or we've seen 3 regular season. I have not played in any of the games. It's ridiculous. I can't get Coach Brown to put me in, but you know, he I remember doing all this reading, all these draft gurus, these wizards, that know all this stuff. I'm reading all this stuff throughout the summer, or the spring and the summer, trying to learn about these guys. And I'm reading about this guy Keegan Murray, and I'm like, he's a good, like, solid player, but he's just like, that's like all he's gonna be. And I'm like, well, that could work for the Kings because he could just be a kind of a plug-in player. I had no idea he'd be like this. And it didn't seem like most of these. There's a few guys I can't think off the top of my head who specifically. There's a few guys that were like, this guy's legit. But you read those mock drafts, like he's going 4, 5, or 6 or 7th in a lot of those, and it's just like, huh? And it's just like, yeah, all this stuff. It's just like he'll provide this and that, hard worker on both ends, all this stuff. And it's just like, man, I am, and I kind of knew that a lot of that's not 100% true, but you do all this reading and you just fill your brain with all this garbage, and it ends up totally misdirecting you to the wrong thing because he is the real deal. And that's not to say like Ivy's not the real deal. Like Ivy looks like he can be good, but like, is he like gonna be winning games in his first couple of years? No. Like he's going to need a few years to really be an effective player. Keegan Murray, we said it about Halliburton when he was a rookie. And maybe a little bit about Davion Mitchell, more about Davion Mitchell's work ethic than anything. But like Halliburton on and off the floor, it's just like he felt like a seasoned vet. It's like Keegan Murray, he plays the part too. Like he could play a 40-year-old man in a movie. He just put some like Fox said, like he just put some facial hair on him, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's been great. I feel like we could do Chimezie Metu we could talk about for 45 minutes, but Keegan Murray, it's like an hour and 45.
Yeah. It's something special. And man, I mean, they were saying that, I think like after we drafted him and maybe after Summer League and what he was doing, they were saying that a lot of GMs said that he was the number 2 pick, and it's definitely showing.
Exactly.
And I can see why Banchero was number 1. He had a really good debut, even though this is a Kings.
Yeah, he's legit.
Kings talk episode, but yeah, he looks legit too. But Murray's just, he's showing, why that he was rated so highly. And it's just like, kind of like what you're saying, you're reading those articles. It's like, yeah, this guy can be like good, but it's just like, I don't know, maybe athleticism is just, coveted in the NBA, just like Jaden Ivey, just like this physical, like he just has this crazy athleticism, and Banchero is just this huge guy and physical and, just, athletic guy for a big as well. And you got Holmgren, who's just like this, I guess, kind of like that unicorn and like that Kristaps kind of guy, just like, wow, like what can he do as like a 7-foot guy? And then you have Jabari Smith, who seemed like the better 3-point shooter, and then Murray, and it's like, okay, like he can be a Kevin Durant type of player. But then you can get to Keegan Murray. It's like, okay, like a stretch 4, I guess. Like you can play good D. Just like nothing like popped out. Everyone else had these comparisons, and like their potential was this, and Keegan Murray just was. It just like nothing. Nothing was exciting about his game. Like, which isn't to say anything, but I think that's.
I mean, like, yeah, he shot 40% in college from 3 in his last year in college, I should say.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like that. Even like scouts and stuff and writers were like, yeah, but like we'll see. Like a lot of guys shoot. Which is fair. A lot of guys shoot like close to 40% or around 40% in college, and it's just like, well, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to translate to the NBA on that stage. But it's just like, take into account that it's all that like off the court stuff. It's it's, I don't know. Like think about like Steph Curry. Like nobody wanted to. He wasn't like a number 1. He wasn't like in the top few picks because nobody was getting him for his like physical abilities. Like he was like 6'3", not very big, not super fast, and like athletic. And like I remember like Mark Jackson wrote that he'll probably have a career somewhere in Europe or something like that on draft night. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, well, who gives a shit if he's not like an exceptional athlete? I mean, like obviously that can turn into great things. I can, I see I see the argument for the first three picks and Ivy at 5, but it's just like, man, Murray. It's just like you combine that kind of mentality thing and that just like how he comports himself. It's just that's not to take anything away from the other guys. It's just, man, he's not as shiny, but it's just like he's, man, I don't know. He's very, very good. It looks. I think you're right. It looks like a steal. At number 4, it's like, whew.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, that's why Murray, he's the number 2 guy.